A calm start to your Thursday morning after a night of strong storms moved through central and southern Arkansas. We've got Rob Evans out live this morning in Weather Force 11. He is checking on road conditions and seeing some of the damage this morning as the sun comes up. We've also got Marielle Ruiz checking on things for us, giving us reports from what we saw last night. That lightning and that thunder was incredible.
Laura, you're right. It was the lightning, it was the thunder, and that was what sounded scary on top of the high winds. You could hear the wind. And whenever we have really strong storms, a good indicator of that is how many lightning strikes you see within that storm. And this is just one snapshot. This was at 9:25 last night, and you could see all of the lightning strikes. It's all the white that you see there, and certainly a very loud and powerful storm that made its way through central Arkansas. Not just loud, but also really high winds that came out of the storm. Radar indicating close to 70-mile-per-hour winds in areas across the Saline-Pulaski County line there just south of Martindale, and across areas of the 430-630 interchange, about 65-mile-per-hour winds. There was a storm spotter in Saline County that did record 70-mile-per-hour winds. Hot Springs at 52. The Little Rock Air Force Base recorded 67-mile-per-hour winds. The Little Rock Airport close to 64. We did see quite a few reports, not just in central Arkansas, but in southern Arkansas, in areas of North Texas. And the reports did vary. If you were in North Texas or across the Oklahoma-Arkansas border between Mena and DeQueen, you had reports of very large hail on top of the wind gusts. And across areas of southern Arkansas, just a lot of wind damage. Central Arkansas certainly saw their fair share as well. We had a lot of reports of downed trees, down power lines. That's why we have a lot of power outages this morning, and a lot of tree debris as well. One of the more significant reports that I've seen this morning was a tree that was blown into a house just before 9:30. And this was, of course, due to thunderstorm wind damage. And this is right across the Pulaski and Lonoke County line near Kerr along Highway 70. The good news is that it's a lot calmer this morning, and we're not going to see any of the strong storms that we saw last night. But just to give you another idea of how powerful these storms are, we have Rob Evans out live showing us just what we are seeing this morning, the aftermath of the storms. So Rob, how's it looking out there?
Well, Marielle, we were in Weather Force 11 driving around central Arkansas looking for maybe some debris on the road, and we did see several roads that were closed because of that. Oh my goodness, we just heard a transformer blow just off. I don't know if you can hear that on camera or not, but we just had a transformer blow here in the Argenta district here. We're just off 6th Street. Hopefully you heard that back at home right now, but there are down power lines throughout the area. We're nowhere near those power lines, thank goodness, trying to stay safe here. Lots of trees down, lots of debris, and if you look right behind me, Chris, this home destroyed by this tree. This happened last night. I talked to the neighbor who was here a few moments ago, and she told me that, I got to move out of the way of the car here. She told me that there were 2 people inside of that car, inside of that house, I should say, last night, 2 gentlemen, and they are okay. They did survive. They weren't even hurt. The neighbor whose the house is over there, her house was damaged as well. She's okay. She's still living in that house, but this house here, as you can see, destroyed. And as you heard that transformer, what sounded like a transformer blowing right there, this is a dangerous situation. If you don't have to be out, don't be out. If you're going to go see sightseeing, don't. You can be killed by something like that. Very dangerous situation. Laura?
Rob, we heard that it's an example of why you shouldn't be going out and trying to explore right now. Stay safe out there. The man accused of killing 3 Little Rock women is set to appear in court this morning. Torrance Price of Pine Bluff was arrested last week in connection to the deaths of Dontrese Hughes, Ramonda Holmes, and Sydney Bolden. The 3 were found dead on June 13th at a home near West 16th Street in Cone Lane. Price is being charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder and possession of firearms. THV11's Jordan Howington is following this story. We'll have the very latest both on air and online. Arkansas's 3rd medical marijuana dispensary is set to open in Clinton today. Arkansas Natural Product has been inspected and approved to open for business. The door is open at 10 a.m. and THV11's Rolly Hoyt will be there as people in the area finally get access to the drug. The dispensary is among 32 businesses that have been licensed to sell medical marijuana, but right now only 2 in Hot Springs are open. It is a big night for Razorback fans in the town of El Dorado. The NBA draft gets underway tonight, and Daniel Gafford is expecting to hear his name. The former Razorback basketball player could have left Arkansas a year ago, but says he does not regret a thing about coming back for his sophomore season.
It benefited me a lot because I came back to school. I got another year under my belt and got some more experience, taking a step into a leadership role at Arkansas with, a couple of other older guys. That gave me some great experience also. I was getting more, familiar with like the process and whatnot.
As for when and where Gafford will go, well, Sports Illustrated has him going to the Kings with the 40th pick. GoldenStateSports.com has him going to the Warriors, and Final 24/7 Sports has the 76ers calling him in the 24th overall pick. Dorian Kraft will be watching the draft with Gafford's family, and we'll have more later tonight on THV11. A Sacramento police officer is killed in an ongoing standoff that started yesterday evening. 26-year-old Tara O'Sullivan was helping a woman gather her belongings following a domestic disturbance when a suspect started shooting. The gunman then exchanged fire with other officers responding to the incident. Eventually, an armored vehicle showed up and took O'Sullivan to the hospital where she died. Authorities say the suspect stopped firing late last night, and officers are still trying to negotiate with him to peacefully surrender. Planned Parenthood of St. Louis will no longer conduct a state-mandated second pelvic exam before an abortion procedure. Doctors at the clinic say the examination is unethical and stand by the decision even if it means losing its license. This announcement comes just days before a judge-mandated deadline for the state's health department to make a final decision on whether to renew Planned Parenthood's abortion license. That decision could come as early as tomorrow. Now, if the license is not renewed and the preliminary injunction currently in place is not extended, Missouri will be the first state to not have a safe, legal abortion clinic since 1973's Roe v. Wade decision. Cracker Barrel cancels a Tennessee church's event because of its pastor's anti-LGBTQ remarks. The chain posted on Twitter this week that it is not affiliated with All Scripture Baptist Church or its pastor, ex-Knox County Sheriff's Detective Grayson Fritz, who preached that the government should execute gay people. Cracker Barrel says it disagrees with their statements of hate and divisiveness and, quote, "We serve everyone who walks through our doors with genuine hospitality, not hate, and require all guests to do the same," end quote. The church responded, calling the chain hypocrites. Get excited. We are exactly 100 days away from the Big Dam Bridge 100, which means Marielle and I better start training.
Yeah. Marielle needs to get her bike.
Marielle needs to accept that Laura already signed her up for this.
That's true, guys. Laura signed me up for this. Now I
Without
have
her
100
knowing.
days.
Yeah.
How many miles are we even doing?
Oh, yeah. We are doing the 50. This year, didn't you know? Yeah, so 2 years ago, I rode the 32-mile, and I say this year we got to step it up a notch. It's really fun. I enjoyed it. I missed biking as a kid, and I don't like running, so this is a way to get somewhere faster.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
So I have 100 days to prepare for this.
As do I. Yeah, Meteor is helping us hook us up with some great bikes and gear, and once you put it on and get on that bike, you're gonna feel official. Yeah. So there's still time to sign up, and remember, it is a ride, not a race, which is why we are doing it.
Right, and there are several miles you can do. I mean, different options. There's the 50, there's the 100, of course.
There's even a 10-mile if you want to do that one. I mean, 10 miles is a big feat, so if you're just starting out riding. So whatever you can do, 100 days you have till the Big Dam Bridge 100.
Oh yeah, get excited.
Well, Eat It Up is hitting the road once again. Rob and Amanda are taking us on a behind-the-scenes look at Low Ivy food truck.
And after last night's storms that caused all of the damage, we're off to a much calmer start. We've got another check-in with Rob, as well as another look at how the weather's shaping up for today after the break.
Arkansans will receive their medical marijuana cards by the end of February. As of last week, The health department has approved more than 6,700 patient ID cards. The drug isn't available in Arkansas yet, but Oklahoma recently legalized it and allows out-of-state license holders to buy marijuana there. So the department chose to hand the cards out a little early. Officials expect to start selling the drug here sometime in April. And if you have CVS Caremark insurance, you might not be able to fill your prescriptions at Walmart anymore. Starting in May, the retail giant will no longer accept prescriptions from people including Medicaid and Blue Cross Blue Shields plans. Last year, pharmacists across Arkansas took on CVS Caremark and other pharmacy benefit managers after they cut reimbursement prices that pharmacists receive when they fill a prescription. If you're unsure if your insurance is included in this change, contact your provider.
Close to 800,000 federal workers have not seen a paycheck in almost a month because of the government shutdown. Now, one organization is hoping to relieve some of that stress by collecting donations, beer donations. Check it out. Pay It Furloughed allows people to buy a beer for a furloughed worker in the Washington, D.C. area. Donating is easy. All you got to do is visit payitfurloughed.com and choose between one beer for $7.50 or a full six-pack for $45. So far, over 2,000 brews have been donated. Almost 300 have been claimed. And who doesn't love a good work meeting? Well, turns out most of us. 55 million meetings happen at workplaces across the U.S. every day, but according to one study, 9 out of 10 employees admit to daydreaming during them, and almost half of them say they think having too many meetings is, quote, the biggest waste of time. Employers are probably already thinking, well, what can I do? Here are a few tips from an author who wrote the book on meeting, literally. He recommends setting a clear agenda, keeping it small, keeping it short, and maybe mixing it up a bit. Try walking or standing during a meeting instead of just sitting around a table. And fans, it looks like for fans of The Office, they won't be getting a revival anytime soon. But Steve Carell is reuniting with the hit show's creator Greg Daniel for a new Netflix series. Space Force is described as a workplace comedy about the people in charge of President Trump's idea for a sixth branch of the military. A teaser released yesterday offers a few details about the show and says, quote, the goal of the new branch is to defend satellites from attack and perform other space-related tasks or something. This is the story of the men and women who have to figure it out. Trending online, robots are coming for Walmart workers' jobs, but don't worry, it's actually a good thing.
Now, the retail giant planning to add almost 4,000 robots to its stores and facilities as it looks to remove human workers from routine tasks like scrubbing the floor. The new robots include Auto C, which polishes the floors, and Fast Unloaders, which scans and sorts items and unloads from delivery trucks.
The investment in automation is part of Walmart's pledge to boost worker wages and give them more customer service roles.
Well, it also looks like Disney isn't the only one interested in remaking fairy tales and giving them a new twist.
Camila, I can never say her name. Camila Cabello?
Cabello.
I always mess up her name. Great voice, though. She's set to make her acting debut in, get this, a new telling of Cinderella. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter not only is the star in the movie, but she will also be heavily involved in the music for it.
And what makes this remake different from Disney's live-action adaptation? Well, the story idea actually came from Late Late Show host James Corden.
So maybe a little humorous, too, if you have James Corden in this.
I'm sure. And here it is, our favorite trending story of the day. Some people can't go without their mobile device for like 10 minutes. So imagine having to wait to use one for almost 50 years.
It's wild.
Yeah, that's the situation New Yorker writer Evan Olnos finds himself in this week. He shared this picture of his iPad screen after it was disabled by his toddler who was trying to get it to work.
The kid tried so many times that it is locked up, that device, for over 25,000 minutes, which we figured out is about 48 and a half years. Dad was eventually able to get it unlocked, but not before asking for help from the internet.
And you better believe people online came through with some funny ideas. One person said, hey, you know what? You should wait and give it to your kid as a present when they turn 50 years old.
I like that idea best. Was that even possible that
just
you
keep
can
doing
lock
it
your
wrong.
screen for that long?
That long?
If you keep
I
doing it,
had
yeah.
no idea.
They said that the minutes add on. The more you try to unlock it, the
So you just
minutes
keep pressing
adding
buttons
on.
and it goes up and
I
up
wonder
and
how
up and
long
up and
he
up.
had it for. What?
I mean, kids
Dad
will do
turns
that,
his head
man.
for 1 second and his iPad's locked for 50 years.
Or buying stuff on Amazon, you know,
Yeah,
these kids.
we've heard those stories.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
I was going to make the sound until I realized my mic was on.
I'm glad you didn't do it. Movies in the Park is back, and the summer event is Dumbing Things Down tonight. You can catch Dumb and Dumber at the First Security Amphitheater in Riverfront Park at sunset, which should be around 8:30 tonight. Bring your kids, your pets, your lawn chairs, your blankets, your coolers, your sense of humor. Your food trucks will be there in case you need a snack during the movie. And Marielle, you're saying there's a chance for rain. So you're saying there's a chance, like 1 in 100? More like 1 in a
One
million.
in a million. Quote from the movie, if you were wondering.
Hopefully
that is not the actual rain chance, by the way.
Well,
Yeah.
it looks like 1 in a million because looking around, all I see is blue skies, especially that direction.
Yeah, don't let that fool you. I said this before, it's going to change.
Samsonite. Duh.
Samsonite.
Was way off.
Another quote from the movie for those of you
I hope
wondering.
you've seen the movie.
Trending online, fast food royalty is honoring Prince Harry and Meghan Markle with a new sandwich.
Burger King launched a royal wedding-themed snack this week. The limited edition sandwich includes a piece of bread, crumbed chicken, and iceberg lettuce, topped with barbecue sauce and 2 onion rings to signify the royal matrimony.
I don't get it. The menu item is only $2.68, but it's only available in Burger Kings in the UK until Sunday.
But Burger King isn't the only restaurant celebrating this week. A bakery just right down the street from Windsor Castle is brewing up something special.
All right, this is the Meg Harry Chino. Baristas uploaded the engagement photo to the bakery's Ripples machine. The cappuccino is put underneath, and the photo is reproduced onto the froth.
The process takes around 10 seconds. The drink costs about $6, and customers joke it's the closest you're going to get to a kiss. Or kiss you're going to get from Prince Harry.
A Pennsylvania high school student is getting a lot of attention for her prom date, and no, it wasn't a football player, and it was not someone in her family who didn't go to their prom.
Allison Cross took a cardboard cutout of actor Danny DeVito to the dance. She bought that cutout online along with a scooter she used to move her famous 2-dimensional date.
Cross said she couldn't find a date in time. She's a big fan of DeVito and says he was there for her when she needed him and treats her the way a woman should be treated. Keeps his mouth shut.
We ought to get cutouts of all of us. You,
Well,
me, Ed,
you know what?
and
You have a bobblehead.
Hayden
Somebody surely has
and
taken
Denise.
you to
Well,
prom.
we ought to get cutouts and put them out front, and then people want to take us to the prom. They call and reserve the cutout. And excuse me, I'm getting all
You
caught
almost
up in
fell
this.
off your
Anyway,
chair.
you could take one of us to the prom, and we see who goes the most.
Well, we have an Ellen if you want to take Ellen to the prom.
Too late for that. Proms are over. How about that? Well, let's talk about what's trending online. The people of Lake Worth, Florida got quite the scare after an alert went out warning them of zombies in the area.
The alert said that 7,000 customers were without power due to extreme zombie activity. A city spokesperson later posted on Facebook saying officials are investigating the bogus alert.
Customers did lose power. It was restored about 30 minutes later, but no one has actually told them what caused the outage, so maybe it was zombies? You never know.
For hundreds of years, visitors to Scotland's Loch Ness have described seeing a monster lurking in the water, but those tales may start drying up soon.
A New Zealand scientist is leading an international team to the body of water next month where they'll take samples of the murky waters and conduct DNA tests to determine what species live there. So we should know if Nessie is real or just a big fish story by the end of the year.
There are hundreds of theories surrounding the monster. Some believe it's a dinosaur that survived extinction. Others think it could be a giant catfish or sturgeon. What do you think?
I think catfish. Well, no, it's not catfish. Not southern enough. Never mind. Grab a can of spinach. That's what I think. You need to grab a can of spinach because Popeye the Sailor Man is making a comeback, Dawn.
According to Variety, the 89-year-old spinach-loving character is getting his own animated series on YouTube, and this will be the first original Popeye content in more than a decade.
Will blow me down. The new show will be in the same animation style of original shorts and should debut sometime next year, just in time for the character's 90th anniversary.
Every year, hundreds of people move to Nashville hoping to make it big in the scene of country music. Very few do, but that's not the story we're telling you this morning.
We have THV11's and the Vine's Ashley King here with her series Chasing Country.
That's right. Heath Sanders is a former oil field worker who had a viral video, and it all just kind of started for there. He did sign a publishing deal with Sony, but he told the label that he has to come back to Arkansas to be able to write those songs.
I was in the oil field. I worked for Southwestern Energy out of the Cleveland office, and tending to gas wells and stuff like that. So, and it's really that job that led me into music. The gas prices fell and they cut our hours, and we went from making quite a bit of overtime to straight 40 a week, and I was like, well, I'll just pick me up a side gig, and that's why I started playing music.
Phone shut off and you're the only shot I got if I'm gonna reach her.
So you go from playing those little places, posting on social media, you get a call from Bobby Bones, and you go to Nashville. And when you show up, he has like several big music executive type people there staring at you, judging you. How was that?
That was just penetrating my head the whole time. I can't focus on anything. If you'll go back and watch the video on YouTube, my face is so red, and it's not because of so much that I'm embarrassed. I just can't breathe.
I ain't ready to lose. Gotta let her know I'm sorry.
What kind of places are you playing now?
Oh man, we've been out to California a couple times, played a few festivals out there. And we opened up for Justin Moore and Cody Johnson in Chicago a few weeks ago, and that was about 4,500 people. And it's really cool to go play a show in Chicago for 4,500 people, open up for names like Cody Johnson and Justin Moore, and then the next weekend, come home and play for 200 people that you know by name. Yeah. So that's really neat.
Find herself in the middle of missing me. Turn around, but it's gotta be.
Like I sat down with Sony the other day, with my publisher, and I was like, guys, I love being in Nashville, but how about we go to 2 weeks in Nashville and then we go a week home? Because I still have to live this. I still have to sit in my boat and catch a largemouth. I still have to go squirrel hunting. I still have to go deer hunting. I have to live this to have the material to write the songs.
We ain't gotta be through. Oh, I need that girl, so I need.
We have so many Arkansas artists out right now, and
I know.
that's why we
so
wanted
excited.
to sit down with you, because it's just so awesome to hear how much talent we have coming out of Arkansas these days.
Yeah, what? So Justin Moore, Ashley McBride, Matt Stell, Adam Hambrick, all these artists just blowing up out of Arkansas.
It's awesome.
And I gotta let her go. Gotta help me bring her back a radio.
Oh, he's amazing. I love the fact that he just put a video on the internet and it went viral, and then it was seen by Bobby Bones. He put him on his syndicated station, which is on like in 100 different markets, and brought in all of these label people, and they were like, you should move to Nashville. I remember talking to him right after that, and he was like, I don't think so. And now he's looking to buy a house in Nashville, and he's spending like 3 weeks or 2 weeks out of every month there.
So what makes, Amanda brought this up earlier, what makes Heath stand out? Obviously he's a really nice guy, he's got a good voice, but it's hard to make it in this business.
Yeah, well, if you like country music, he is country. And I think a lot of people are looking for that. They want an authentic country guy. You heard him talking about, I need to come back here and sit in my boat, I need to fish, I need to hunt. In fact, when we were talking about where he's gonna look for a house in Nashville, he said, wherever they have where I can go deer hunting. He's like
those roots.
Yes, and that is him. I think country music listeners want to hear somebody that lives the life that they live.
Authentic,
are very authentic. And we spoke more about, just he's so surprised at just the fact that he gets to do this. He was like, I never expected this to happen to me. He said, I was just working and living my life, and all of a sudden this opportunity came. So you can see more on that at THV11.com. And I just appreciate everybody that sat down because they all have crazy schedules.
You got them all together.
Yes, yeah. And thanks also to Prost, Willie D's for opening their doors and letting us come in.
And the Vine as well. More coming up at 9 o'clock on the Vine,
we're going to talk
right?
about it more on the Vine today. So make sure you check out Heath Sanders and watch the Vine for more. So
yes.
cool.
All right. And all those interviews and more can be found on THV11.com.
We understand how talented we are, and we kind of like the expectation. It makes us play better. So just right now, it's just pure excitement.
The simple fact is, Bree,
we're in Omaha.
We're in Omaha.
Well, the fans have been incredible all year. I mean,
I'm ready. I'm ready. We've been waiting a long time.
Oh, I mean, that's huge. I mean, I've said it over and over. We have the best fans in the country.
Let's go Hogs. How about that? This is just something the state of Arkansas needed, and you know what? You got it. And savor it, because this is big.
Please favor last, turn out the lights and lock the door, because everybody all of a sudden, we're going, we're playing for the title, we're going.
An incredible, dramatic, exciting night in Nebraska and all across Arkansas.
And THV11's Hayden Balgavy has been in Omaha since the beginning of the College World Series. He joins us now with the very latest.
Hey guys, I wish I had a better face for you right now, but I've been told in my ear that the Oregon State Beavers just tied this ball game 2-2 in the top of the 9th inning. Matt Cronin on for the save. Oregon State was down to the last strike, had a runner on third, but all I know is they just tied the ball game. So it is 2-2 right now in the top of the 9th inning, but don't get too down just yet, Razorback fans. You get out of this one, you got 2 outs. It's 3-3, I'm sorry, not 2-2, 3-3, jumping ahead of myself. But yeah, Razorbacks still have a chance to win this ball game in the bottom of the 9th inning. Again, they're not losing. It is tied 3-3, and you got to like Matt Cronin's chances to get out of the inning. But again, there was 2 outs, 2 strikes with a runner on third. Oregon State able to tie the ball game. I don't know what just happened behind me. A very loud applause. Majority Razorback fans here, so I really hope that was a good sign for Razorback fans. I wish I had more details for you right now, but hopefully Matt Cronin got out of the inning. I hear a few boos as well, so that may be a reaction to the top of the 9th. But if the Hogs are truly heading to the bottom of the 9th inning, it was a home run. I'm being told Oregon State just hit a home run. Is that correct? Oh my word, Razorback fans. Oregon State has just hit a 2-run home run. If you want to find a man speechless on live TV, you just did. So Oregon State has scored 3 runs in the top of the 9th inning to take a 5-3 lead. As I mentioned, the Razorbacks are still having it bat to go, so they will bat in the bottom of the 9th inning, but I cannot imagine the crowd in Little Rock and everywhere else right now. But we're going to stay positive because this is not the do-or-die situation for Arkansas. It's do-or-die for Oregon State. And if this team is good at one thing, it's at rallying and keeping each other up. So we're going to keep the faith. We're going to keep it going, Razorback fans. Still got a chance to hit in the bottom of the 9th inning, and we're going to go from there. So we're going to send things back into Little Rock. We'll, of course, have an update from Omaha coming up a little bit later in the show. If the game's still going on, no highlights. But if it is over, by that point, we'll show you as much as we can. So that's all from Omaha right now. I wish I had better news, guys. We'll send it back to you guys in the natural state. Hey guys, welcome back outside TD Ameritrade Park, and Oregon State just clinched the victory 5-3. So we have a tied College World Series final. In fact, the Razorbacks are not done yet, though. That was a tough way to end the night, but that's why you win the first game, because there could have been a lot of breaks that had gone Oregon State's way. Obviously, they did in the 9th, but there's another game to be played, Razorback fans, so I need you to get that red ready to go. We have got much more coming up as we've got screaming Oregon State fans. This guy's fired up about it. But the good news is, Hog fans, is I want to tell you again, another game to be played, and these two teams are just too good. A tough way to end this game, too, but another one tomorrow night in Game 3. We have got much more coming up a little bit later in the show. We're going to have highlights as soon as ESPN gets off the air. We'll break this thing down and look ahead to tomorrow. Isaiah Campbell's going to be on the bump. He looked fantastic the other night against Florida. Hopefully he can repeat that performance in Game 3 of the College World Series Final. Much more coming up a little bit later.
Oh, a sad night for Hawk fans everywhere as the Diamond Hogs fall to the Oregon State Beavers in Game 3 of the College World Series.
Yeah, it's been a long road to this point. Hayden Balgavy and Rob Evans have been there for it all. Tough night, guys.
Guys, very tough night indeed. These Razorbacks did not look like the Diamond Hogs we're used to seeing. Just 2 hits tonight, an outstanding performance by a dominating Oregon State pitcher that just absolutely and completely shut down this Razorback offense.
I talked to Hunter after the game, and he said, you know, when you're losing a game, it flies by. When you're winning a game, it seems to never end. And tonight felt like 20 minutes, he told me. He said, and it did for all of us. You know, it just flew by. There was no chance to ever get anything going. Again, they left the bases loaded, though, and early on, stranded with 1 out, bases loaded. You can't do that. They are 0 for 5, 0 for 6, 0 for 7, I think, something around there with the bases loaded this College World Series Finals. That just can't happen.
Well, and if you would have told me prior to this game that the Razorbacks would have 2 hits, I wouldn't have believed you one bit and be shut out. By the way, Arkansas was not shut out one time this season.
The entire year.
Not one time this season. They were tonight in their final game. You know, everyone sees the ESPN galore of the Oregon celebration in the dog pile. Well, we're front row to these guys right after this moment. And folks, I got to tell you, I get people frustrated on Twitter. I get people frustrated on Facebook. If you think these guys don't care, you have no clue, because these guys gave every single ounce of effort they had tonight. Rob, you saw it firsthand. You saw them in the locker room. Yeah. It was emotional.
It was emotional. It's one of those things where you actually hate your job. You don't want to ask the questions because these are student athletes. And for everybody out there that are dogging these kids, these young men, some of them 19 years old, these are student athletes. These are not the St. Louis Cardinals. They're not getting paid $15 million to go out there and play. These are teenagers, somebody's kids out there. I want you to stop the hating on social media. It's ridiculous. These guys played their hearts out. Talk to Hunter Wilson afterwards, just pouring his heart out. These guys are great people, great student athletes, and they put their heart into this season. They put their heart into this game. And you know, sometimes Oregon State, in this case, Oregon State was a better team.
It was 2 great ball clubs. It was 2 great ball clubs going head to head. And Rob, you talked about talking to Hunter Wilson and Blaine Knight and Carson Shaddy, especially Blaine and Carson, who will not be back next season. We caught up with them in the locker room, and as you can expect, emotional, but what a ride it's been.
Well, man, if you've ever been in a situation like this, I've been in plenty in my lifetime. The game, when you're behind, it moves fast. When you're winning, it seems like it takes forever. Last night, I felt like the game was never going to end, and then everything just went for a turn. And then today, I felt like the game took 20 minutes. And I don't know, man. Things happen for a reason, and you can't really ask anything else, this team.
You know, to see, especially my class from freshman year up until this point, has been incredible to see us grow, you know. So it's been a lot of fun, you know. It would be a lot of memories I'm going to look back on down the line, and made a lot of really close friends I'm going to have for the rest of my life.
Yeah, you know, this team is the family bond is incredible, you know. I feel like I'm so close with the guys that I'm 4 years older than. So, you know, I thank them for buying in this year and, you know, having a great season and a great run.
A lot's going to be put on Carson Shaddy about this World Series. Folks, I know you're mad about that pop-up in Game 2. We've seen a lot about that. But without him getting that base hit to give you the lead in Game 2, you're not even in that position. So Carson Shaddy, Fayetteville native, he did everything for this ball.
I want you to take that pop-up and forget about it. That's not a play that, you know, it happens. Half the time the play is made, he had a long haul from second base. He was just going as hard as he can. Back off him. Don't blame this on him. There's a whole nother game.
Absolutely.
Whole nother game tonight. And just the bats were just silent. 2 hits all night.
Yeah, tough night here in Omaha. We're going to hear from Dave Van Horn and Blaine Knight and more guys coming up a little bit later in sports. I know it's a disappointing night back in Arkansas, but, you know, folks, you got to be proud of this ball club. We're going to send it back to you guys at the natural state.
I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you.
The world remembers the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. 50 years after his death.
He taught us how to stand up, to be brave, courageous, and bold, and to never give up.
Plus, A look back at the civil rights leader's time in Little Rock.
He wasn't the Martin Luther King that we hear of later on after he's given the speeches, done the March on Washington.
And a tattoo artist lives out Dr. King's legacy by using love and ink to drive out hate.
People can't let go of hate. You can't love anything. You can't love yourself if you're hating everything else.
This is THV11 News at 6.
If it hadn't been for Martin Luther King Jr., I don't know what would have happened to our nation. I don't know what would have happened to many of us that have been left out and left behind. I thank God that he lived.
If he had lived, he may not have been, I'm certain he would not have been as effective. Because he gave his life, he was martyred, and then you remember all of the positive things he left behind.
50 years ago today, at this very moment, the world lost a leader, an activist, an icon.
Martin Luther King Jr. assassinated on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee. He was 39 years old.
Thousands are gathered there this evening, honoring the memory of the civil rights leader. And Dr. King was killed at approximately 6:01 on that night 50 years ago.
In just a moment, a bell will ring 39 times to mark the night the world will never forget. We want to take a listen now.
To holding America accountable for what she has promised us, or will we be assassins to Martin's assassination by our silence? We may not have been here 50 years ago, but we're here now. Don't be an assassin. Continue his legacy.
Again, they are ringing the bell 39 times in honor of Dr. King.
It was a day that will totally go into the history books.
It's like a big cookie and I took a little bite out of it.
It's way better than the one I saw in '79. Obviously, it was more coverage.
I know how it works because the moon is actually casting shadows on the earth.
People of all ages from across the country look to the sky in awe to take in the first coast-to-coast total solar eclipse in almost 100 years.
This is THV11 News at 6.
It was the last total eclipse of the sun for North America until the year 2017.
People across the country stopping and turning to the sky today to experience the first coast-to-coast solar eclipse in nearly 100 years.
Our THV11 team viewed this eclipse from different parts of central Arkansas today.